chuffed. Crosby getting that much closer. And if Hopkins gets delayed here, that could impact on his lead, and it has impacted on his lead.
Yeah, this is a great chance now for Harrison Crosby. He needs to be the action off here at Tattershall with the Mini Moto rookies. Great to be back in Cool Fab once again. Jake Sanson here. We've got Luca Hopkins and Harrison Crosby from the front of the grid. Kyle Payne and James Rose are on the second row with Orlando Phillips and Sullivan Mounsey. Harrison Desoy and Jamie Woodcock will be on 7th and 8th place on the grid from Ben Joliffe and Ethan Sparks. Alfie Davidson and Ronald Harris come next from Monty Amer, Saffron Watley, Jacob Stevenson and Lucas Brown, Warwick Brady, Josh Kirsch. Then we have Jada Howe, Elliot Jones, Clayton Edmonds and Alessandro Valente. This should be a really interesting battle on this Tattershall circuit, one of the newest additions to the Cool Fab calendar, and there's some very feisty riders out there who'll want to give us a cracking start. But who's it going to be off the front of the grid? Will it be the Bennett's rider or the Tag Yamaha rider from the front? Luca Hopkins and Harrison Crosby. We'll find out very shortly as the last few riders just getting themselves into position. The marshals just get themselves out of place as we get ready for the green flag to fly at the front of the grid. The green flag will raise shortly, and when it drops, we will be running to that first tight hairpin. Green flag is on, and we're racing once again. Now this is going to be Hopkins taking a very good lead in the early stages. Crosby trying to hold on to second position as the field knits its way through the first hairpin, and it's a clean start as they go through.
Luca Hopkins for Bennett Suzuki has a lead from Harrison Crosby on the Anvil Tag Yamaha machine. Then Kyle Payne in third place. They come through turn 3 for the first time. Hopkins has it from Crosby. Monty Amer rounding out the field. Edmonds and Valente are down. Well, Edmonds has stopped, and it looks like
hard together. Hopkins, Crosby, Payne, Rose, and this is an incredible little tussle as Crosby tries to make his way on the inside. Don't even think about it, mate. I am going to keep this lead, and I'm going to jog on with an absolute march as they go through the hairpin once again. A great complex. So let's see as they come down this long, fast, sweeping right-hander that goes on and on forever back onto the main straight. Here's an opportunity. Crosby's going to shut the door, and there comes Rose up the inside. Rose is going to take Payne. That's beautifully done.
Fantastic move by James Rose. Obviously got the pace down the straight. It's quite tight and twisty this, but it is a very, very long straight. There's a huge hump in the straight. We've got somebody off in the background. Couldn't quite make out who that was at this stage, but it's Hopkins that looks like he's away with the fairies, Luca Hopkins.
Now how about this? We've got a good battle here as Ethan Sparks is trying to line up Jamie Woodcock to try and make a move further back. But meanwhile, we've got the leaders, Luca Hopkins and Harrison Crosby, still out in front. This is going to be a tough move as Sullivan Mounsey tries to make a move on the inside there of the Payne Rose squabble, tries to move up another position. He's not able to. This is an incredibly tough battle up front.
Midfield battle going on in the midfield. These three riders having their own battle. They want to come out on top of that. Here's Hopkins right amongst the back markers now. Now these races, he's looking up the way. He's looking outside at the moment. Will he look inside coming through the second hairpin? Down to hairpin 3. The final turn on the, or penultimate turn in fact, on the circuit. Comes through hairpin 3.
I have a feeling the rider off to the sidelines might be Saffron Watley, who has not continued on. That is a real shame for Saffron. But how about this? We've got this great little tussle between Payne and Rose. And look behind, Sullivan Mounsey is trying to get himself into the game here as well as they go through into the hairpin once again. 44, Sullivan Mounsey started behind Orlando Phillips, made a good start and has managed to get into position. The yellow flag still there for, I think, Saffron Watley. But here they come once again through these sweepers, and this is a great charge through as Luca Hopkins continues the whole station in front of Crosby with Rose in third, Payne in fourth. But is Payne going to be able to have a chance to get back through? He's definitely looking racy.
Payne in front of Sullivan Mounsey for Tyco BMW, who's also looking very racy on that machine. And in behind Sullivan is a winner earlier in the year, Orlando Phillips. So quite close here between this group.
Well, Harrison Desoy is next on the road, and then we've got Jamie Woodcock coming under some pressure from Ethan Sparks, it has to be said. Sparks is going well. Up the inside, that's a beautiful lunge from Kyle Payne, and he gets the move done, but Rose is right with him. They're side by side over the finish line, and he's managed to keep the place, but only just. What a tussle this is for third position. Kyle Payne's going to have to try a new trick. He goes to the outside. Maybe he's got good acceleration off the turn. He's not going to have the inside line. He's going to have to line him up later in the lap, but that was very good defensive riding from James Rose.
Looks like maybe different gearing on those two bikes. It certainly looks like Carl Payne has got the gearing for the infield, but beg your pardon, Rose has got the gearing for the straight. We'll have to see how that pans out for the rest of the race, but it's still Luca Hopkins out front, got a comfortable lead.
And now we've got the traffic to deal with as well, as everybody tries to file their way through the back markers. Now this could be where the race can be won or lost, and that was great sportsmanship from the tail end.
I've said before, are often decided by how you get through the traffic. There's three riders in front of the race leader. This is the race leader. He's got three riders in front of him. Needs to get through them quickly because he's got Crosby right up his shaft. Crosby getting that much closer. And if Hopkins gets delayed here, that could impact on his lead, and it has impacted on his lead.
Yeah, this is
shaft. Crosby getting that much closer. And if Hopkins gets delayed here, that could impact on his lead, and it has impacted on his lead.
Yeah, this is a great chance now for Harrison Crosby. He needs to be really sharp on the throttle, and he is. He's made up some great ground. Meanwhile, further back, there's a great little tussle developing again between Payne and Rose as they get tighter together. Through they come once again to the first corner, and Crosby has definitely gained ground on Luca Hopkins. Meanwhile, Payne versus Rose is getting to be fever pitch.
The lead for Luca Hopkins is 0.4 seconds as they won across the line last time, but it was 1.4 the lap before. So Crosby, as you can see, is right behind him now. He was 1.4 seconds behind the lap previous. He's closed him by a second, and he's right behind him now.
Full caution to the winds now. This is brilliant from Crosby. He knows that there's a possibility that Luca Hopkins could be weak in the latter stage of the lap, because that's where he was nervous on the previous lap in the traffic. If he can get back his confidence, then he'll be able to open up the taps once more. But Crosby has to strike while the iron is hot, so to speak, as they come onto the long, fast, sweeping right-hander. And look, Hopkins is just dropping him. He needed to take advantage of that when he had an opportunity, but Hopkins is just too strong. Meanwhile, Payne versus Rose. Take a look at this. Payne back in front. Rose is going to dive for the inside. That's a very ambitious move. He had to back out of it. You could see him twitching under braking. He was so close to losing the front end of the bike.
Mountsie and Phillips looking to get in on this action as well, but this is for the final step of the podium. It is Carl Payne that has it, but only just. James Rose Jr. has a look up the inside, gets his nose cut off, but he's still there. He's back in action. Sullivan Mountsie for Tyco BMW is the man chasing. There he is in the yellow, white and blue colours with Orlando Phillips, a race winner this year, right behind him. So we know he's got the quality. And who's that behind Orlando Phillips?
That's Harrison Desoy. Desoy has been quietly riding on in 7th position for the entirety of this race. And Desoy is actually pushing these guys. Now, what are you guys doing? This is not a namby-pamby day at the races. This is a proper event. Come on, get on with it. I want to get into the top 6. If you're not going to get there, I'm going to have a crack at it. As we go into the final lap, it looks as though Harrison Desoy is actually going to try and catch these boys napping. If they're not careful, he is going to nab them both as we go into the final tour. And is this going to be about Carl Payne or James Rose? For the moment, at least, it looks as if Carl Payne has the upper hand.
Yeah, that's Mountsie in front of Phillips, and then Desoy right behind him. That's the battle for 5th, 6th and 7th. So Mountsie for Tyco BMW. Orlando Phillips right behind him, and Harrison Desoy looking to depose the pair of them. I don't think they know he's there.
Well, he's not going to be able to make a move on them, I don't think. I think he's just lost his best chance, so it might just end as a stalemate in the positions they are. Meanwhile, up front, the 41, Luca Hopkins is going to cruise missile his way to the victory. Look at that. What a domination from Luca Hopkins standing on the bike. That is a brilliant victory. Crosby in 2nd place. Carl Payne got very close to them on the final lap. He almost had 2nd. 4th position for James Rose. It's Orlando Phillips who is beaten to 5th position by Sullivan Mountsie, with Harrison Desoy there in 7th place. 8th position goes the way of Ethan Sparks. Good ride for him. 9th for Jamie Woodcock. And 10th place is Ben Jolliffe. Absolutely brilliant race, though. There is Luca Hopkins, your race winner, in front of Crosby, Payne, Rose Jr. and Mountsie, and a fantastic fight here at Tattershall. What a great race.
Championship points look like this. It's Harrison Crosby that has the championship lead on 217 from Hopkins, Woodcock, Sparks and Payne. This one's going to the end of the season.